Hey, it's Madson with your top stories on Sports 1140. The Oakland Athletics are back in the playoffs for the first time since 2014, and they'll face the New York Yankees in tonight's wild card game in the Bronx. Liam Hendricks will square off against Luis Severino as the starters, but it'll be a bullpen game for the A's, so Hendricks will likely go just the one inning. We'll carry that game for you right here on Sports 1140. Pregame 4:45. First pitch is set for 5 o'clock. The National League wildcard game was last night in Chicago, and the Rockies emerged victorious 2-1 in 13 innings. It was the longest winner-take-all playoff game in MLB history. Tony Wolters, a 170 hitter, came through with the game-winning hit for Colorado. Now the Rockies move on to the division series where they will face the Milwaukee Brewers. And LeBron James made his Lakers debut last night at Staples Center. He scored 13 points with 3 rebounds and 3 assists in 15 minutes, although the Lakers fell to the Nuggets 113-111. Those are your top stories on Sports 1140, and now it's back to the drive with Carmichael. Dave.
Rise and shine, sleepyhead.
I'm not letting you go to work today.
Wait, what?
Everybody, listen up.
Welcome to The Drive.
Morning.
You're gonna talk.
Get on the phone at 339-1140.
Pretty awesome, huh?
Jump in on our text line at 441140.
Everyone is talking about it. You must know that.
The Drive starts now.
I want to remind everybody, too, in addition to Dave Softy Mahler from Seattle at 7:35, Scott Bear at 8:05, Dave Cavill at 8:35. Also, just before we get to Dave Cavill, we're going to be giving away our third and final television from the Home Theater Company. We've been going up 10 inches each and every day. Today, a 65-inch television, the biggest of all the ones we've been giving away, along with that Blu-ray player, to one lucky winner. We'll be getting that name in just a couple hours, so less than a couple hours. So, hey, look at us bribing you to listen. I love it. I absolutely love it. I want to try to get to the A's game tonight here in a second. I want to talk about this commercial last night. That's what everyone's talking about. Everyone's going to be firing off hot takes on Twitter, on sports talk radio, on TV. You're going to see old guys looking into the camera solemnly and doing, and that's my rant for the day type of stuff. The commercial, if you missed it, was baseball and Ken Griffey Jr. with the backwards hat saying, let the kids play. It's the postseason. Let them have fun. Let them have fun. Celebrations, flipping bats. And I've come to terms. Listen, sometimes traditions are hard to break. Sometimes old habits are hard to break. And every generation struggles with that. When I was a kid, just wearing your hat backwards, just wearing a hat, period, you couldn't, what are you wearing a hat indoors for? And then that was acceptable. But now it was, why are you wearing the hat backwards? And then the next generation was, why are you wearing your hat to the side? And then the next generation was, why aren't you bending the bill? Why are you wearing a flat bill? What is this? And believe it or not, everybody listening right now, it's not like I'm 70 years old here. Everybody listening right now who is in their teens or 20s, maybe even early 30s, trust me when I say, there are going to be things the next generation does that really upsets you, that absolutely upsets you. So here's the only thing I'd say about that commercial and the whole pimping of everything that we're good with now in baseball. I'm specifically talking about baseball. I'm good with it. I really am. I like the fun. I like the excitement. I like the celebrations. But I do think it's there's a little bit of a danger zone here, and I don't want to get too extreme on one side and then snap back to the other side. The main issue I have, and this is where all the young kids roll their eyes, is having kids in Little League, coaching the youngsters, and seeing how some of that, and by the way, literally Kyle rolled his eyes, and seeing how that bleeds back. I don't know what it is about being a millennial that makes it so like acid being thrown on your face to hear something like that. I think I do. I think I understand it. But when you have kids in Little League that celebrate after a home run, that's great. But when you're strutting on a walk to first base, when you're flexing at third, one of the things about Little League that's very important is it's not just about the game. In fact, it's probably, I would say, half about the game. The other half is learning camaraderie, learning teamwork, learning respect, learning sportsmanship. And it almost seems like sportsmanship is a bad word now. Like, it almost seems like sportsmanship is a bad word. What's the point of sportsmanship? If I can throw the ball over the plate and I strike you out, awesome. If you hit it off of me, awesome. I should be able to celebrate all I want. But as I've asked you before when we've had this argument, Kyle, do you believe there's a line? I'm asking you, do you believe there's a line?
Yeah, I to an extent for sure, but I don't think anybody would reasonably ever cross it.
But what's the line? Because this is the heart of my worry. What's the line?
So here's my whole thing with, like, you're saying that sportsmanship can't exist when Wilson Contreras last night drew a walk. Mm-hmm. He has been having an awful time getting on base. Mm-hmm. He draws a walk in a huge situation.
And he pimped it.
Tosses his bat towards the dugout, tries to get his guys fired up. I don't see that as anti-sportsmanship. If he pointed his bat at the pitcher and went, you suck, like, you can't throw the ball over the plate, and was like, doing stuff like that, then it's like, wow, like, okay, take, what are you doing? Like, go take your bag. The issue arises when we're having this discussion is what you see in those, you and people on your side of this argument see is a blatant attempt at disrespecting the other team. Mm-hmm. And my side of the argument is saying, no, this is somebody just enjoying themselves and not adhering to the tip your cap and keep your eyes down when you're rounding the bases after a home run and make sure to tip your cap at home. Ted Williams used to get, like, in trouble because he didn't tip his cap when he got to home plate. Mm-hmm. And on his last home run, everybody was certain he was going to finally do it, and then he didn't, and it was this big disappointment.
Sure.
And that's so ridiculous. It's not trying to show up the other team. Like, you're pumped that you did something. And nobody has a huge issue with it in other sports. At least not as big of a deal as it is with baseball.
You seem to be really confident in the fact that the psychology of what's in these players' heads is that none of it's to show up the other team. None of it's to disrespect.
Maybe it is. Maybe it is to an extent, but it's never. It's not as if they are running around the bases flipping off the pitcher.
Sure.
It's not as if they're grabbing their junk and laughing at the opposing infielders as they run by.
Okay, but stop for a second. Just I want you to stop, because that's the crux of my issue. A lot of times in these arguments, it's so black and white, and people don't look for nuance. And this is the nuance of what I'm talking about. You just said specifically, it's not like the guy's grabbing his junk. Now let me play devil's advocate here. So what if he did? We didn't have a problem with what's-his-face grabbing his junk and flying into the end zone.
Yeah, that's great.
So why do I have a problem with Javi Baez crossing the plate and turning around and grabbing his junk at the opposing team? Why is that a problem? He's having fun. If you don't want Javi Baez...
No, honestly, if Javi Baez hit a home run and did the Marcus Peters celebration at the home plate, that would be hilarious.
Okay.
I would enjoy that very much.
So you're fine with that?
Yes.
Isn't that that's disrespecting the other team? Like, blatantly, is it not? If I'm specifically saying he's looking at the opposing dugout and or the pitcher, and he grabs his junk as he's crossing home plate. He's expressing himself. He's celebrating. And by the way, if you don't want him to do that, don't let him hit a home run off you, right?
Yeah, basically, because that whole Marcus Peters thing originated from his cousin Marshawn Lynch doing it after running through 11 Saints defenders on his way to the end zone.
Sure.
He earned that.
He earned the right to grab his junk on national TV.
Sure.
Okay.
Like, he's not. Who's he hurting?
Sure. No. It's the idea that athletes aren't role models. And Charles Barkley started that whole thing.
No, but in that, okay, so that's just it. If you don't want your child doing that.
You parent your child.
Yes.
Of course you do. But every parent will tell you, every parent that's been a parent will tell you, you parent your child as much as you can. But much like the coach that eventually can't turn over the whiteboard enough in the locker room, there are times your kids, no matter how good of a parent you are, you'll get tuned out. They're going to look at the kids at school. They're going to look at the athletes on TV. And to say that athletes aren't role models is like saying that musicians aren't role models. Yeah, they are. They're taste makers.
Okay, and I guess the other issue I have is you are implying that you cannot be a good person, worthy of admiration, and worthy of being a role model, because you flipped your bat.
I am not.
You are, though.
No, I'm not. You're putting
You're
words
saying
in my
that,
mouth.
No, because you're talking about strutting to first base.
Correct.
And you're talking about how it lacks sportsmanship.
You can make a mistake in judgment and do something I disagree with and still be a role model. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all. That's very important for me to clear that up. What I am saying is that to think that there is an unknown line when it comes to celebrating in baseball, and we're just talking baseball, to think that these athletes don't influence kids, and to think that it's not important to instill sportsmanship and respect when they are at a very impressionable age learning and falling in love with sports for the first time. I'm not saying be stuffy. I'm not saying tip your cap. I'm not saying don't have fun.
Okay.
I'm saying I don't want to see Johnny in 5th grade grabbing his junk on the way home from 3rd.
Okay.
Because he's having fun.
What about then you advocate drilling opposing batters? You advocate
self-policing, of which that is part of it.
You advocate, you say when a team has hit 3 consecutive home runs off of you, you advocate buzzing the tower on the guy.
No. I advocate if you have a guy who has been successful against you and he's crowding the plate, and without throwing at his head, you buzz him to knock him off the plate. I'm okay with that. I'm not okay with injuring people, and I'm not okay with throwing at the head. And again, that's a very important thing that we need to establish.
But throwing at the person? You're okay if your 5th grader goes out and goes, you know what? This guy went 4 for 4 off me last game. I'm going to throw at him.
If we want to,
you're cool with that? That's weird.
If we want to take direct correlations between If we want to take direct correlations between professional sports and Little League, my response to you, we can go long. My response to you would be this: 5th graders don't have the type of control to be able to do that on purpose. There are differences. But if you want to talk about high school, I mean, I'm trying to think of a proper way to answer your question.
No, but this is about Little League and Little Leaguers looking up to big leaguers.
Sure.
At some point, you can't parent the kid. You can't coach the kid.
Sure.
They're going to tune you out.
Sure.
And they're going to say, wow, I saw Madison Bumgarner throw behind Yasiel Puig after Yasiel Puig homered off him.
Are you asking me if in Little League, if I think that a little kid is crowding the plate and if I'm okay with the other little kid pitching, throwing behind said batter to knock him on his ass so he comes off the plate without throwing at his head? I will happily cop to that. I'm absolutely fine with that.
Interesting.
100%. You don't think it's interesting?
I do. No, I really do.
I'm 100% okay with having a little league batter worried about the control of the pitcher so that he doesn't crowd the plate and pull this guy to left field every single time. I'm okay with that. I'm not okay with him being thrown at his head. I'm not okay with intent to injure. But I also, as somebody who's coached Little League, would never advocate that because I understand that because I understand that 5th graders don't have that control. And that maybe they try to throw behind the kid and they hit him in the helmet. They don't have that control. They're going to hit him anyways.
And we're talking to Carmichael Dave, Turner of unassisted triple play here.
Got to be honest. I've played the game.
Did you get thrown out after that?
Because the true story is I barely realized what I did at the time. But damn it, I ran right back. I ran right back to the dugout.
Yeah, head down. Hey, you know what's funny? Is I play slow pitch softball where it's probably acceptable to showboat and do that because everybody's drinking and having fun and nothing. But no, hang on. And nothing matters. If I make a cool play in the field, I'm absolutely head down. Just hey, there's one down.
Of course you are. I think, and we do have to break here.
We can go long.
I think that's the crux. That's the only argument I have. Is let's just be careful when we full release on something one way or the other. Okay, celebrating's cool now. Pimp everything. Pimp the walk. Pimp the home run. Pimp the diving stop at third.
Yes, now you're speaking my language.
Now where at what point if player X makes a great play at third, throws the guy out, there's nobody on base, and goes over to his own dugout and stands on top of the dugout and pounds his chest and then turns to the other dugout and flips the bird. Just be really careful when you stand on the side of, hey, man, that's called fun. And if you don't want him to do that, don't let him do that.
I have not seen someone cross the line yet. I have not seen something that I've said, wow, dude, really?
Right.
That's what we're going with?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen it.
From the 209, shockingly, from the 209. No, it never fails.
I feel like I would be a good 209er.
Dave, if your kid throws behind mine to back him up, I'm going to beat your ass. Sincerely, guy who probably has amazing kids. We'll take a break.
If there's ever a situation where our children happen to be playing against each other in a Little League matchup.
Right. I'm jumping on there. Sincerely, Dad, who probably...
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I thought this was America.
Is that Randy Marsh texting in?
Randy Marsh just straight texted the show. I'm going to beat your ass. You knocked my kid off the plate, bro.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought this was America.
I'm doing right on the field. Right there. Right in front of everybody.
You want to say I'm scared, Sharon?
I'm going to crush my can of Steel Reserve on my head. I'm going to throw it in the recycle bin, and I'm coming after you. Coming after you. You better not touch my neck tap, bro, or it's on. We'll be back.
This is a brand new LeBron James Lakers jersey.
Some people just should not be allowed, man. 4-down territory.
Thanks for listening, by the way,
guy. That was
guy.
very nice, by the way. 4-down territory is next, right here on Sports 1140 KHTK.
Leaving your car away from your radio? Don't worry, because the KHTK app will allow you to catch all the shows you love. Never miss The Drive or Jim Rome. Catch every minute of The Lowdown and Grant and Doug. Just download the app now and get all your favorite shows on your digital device of choice. The all-new Sports 1140 app. Get it today.
But I have to be fair to the 209. From the 209, David, exactly how concerned are you with those children on your lawn? That's very funny.
That's excellent.
That's actually very funny. You know what? I'm not concerned with the kids. What I am concerned with is this round of fat on my waist. I may have to go into Dr. Jack here soon. I may have to do it.
If you go in to Dr. Jack when you come out, you better come out with your eyes down.
Tip my cap to Dr. Jack.
Tip your cap to Dr. Jack.
I'm going to go straight. No, if I go to Dr. Jack, I'm going straight to the grocery store. I'm going to the food aisle, and I'm going to be grabbing my junk all up and down that aisle at the cookies. Be like, what's up?
You will be arrested.
You thought you had me, huh, Oreos? You thought you had me, Chips Ahoy? I'm going to run to the milk section where they have the half and half because I like to pound half and half with my cookie. Be like, yeah, look at these abs, bro.
You pound half and half with your cookies.
Oh, you've never had cookies in
no
half and half?
wonder you have to go to Dr. Jack.
Let me tell you something. Cookies.
Stop.
And the squirty whipped cream and half and half. Oh, I gotta do a spot here. Okay, I thought this was America. I thought we were talking about Dr. Jack Friedlander and NorCal Lipo. NorCal Lipo is Vaser and Vaser high def technology is fantastic. Let him change your life just like he's changed so many others. Hey, listen. You good with your body? You good with your look? Don't worry about it. This isn't for you. But if you're somebody who's saying, I'm getting a little big, or I've got this problem area I just can't get rid of, everything else looks great, go talk to Dr. Jack. You tell him I sent you, and you see what he can do for you. It's a free and private consultation. No obligation at all. 347-7755. That's 916-347-7755 at NorCalLipo.com. That is NorCalLipo.com. Get in there today. And hey, you tell them, like I said, Carmichael Dave sent you.
This is Boomer Esiason with the CBS Sports Minute, brought to you by Robert Half, the experts in accounting, finance, IT, legal, marketing, and administrative staffing. There's plenty of political chatter and debate around the country about what the proper role of the FBI is. But I suspect there would be a bipartisan agreement that the FBI should not be wasting taxpayer resources doing the NCAA's dirty work by enforcing its absurd amateurism rules. As former Adidas executive Jim Gatto went on trial yesterday, his attorney, Casey Donnelly, made her defense strategy clear. Jim Gatto broke NCAA rules, she said, adding that NCAA rules are not laws. Her game plan involves naming names to demonstrate that major college basketball programs weren't defrauded. On the contrary, their coaches, she hopes to prove, were willing participants in the corrupt recruiting process. So what a fireworks show this is going to be. Get your popcorn ready. As Terrell Owens once said, I'm Boomer Esiason.
Filling an opening at your company means more than just finding an employee. You're looking for a fit, a match. Robert Half understands that. We know you need someone who can do the work, someone who complements your culture. And of course, you need that someone fast. When it all comes together, it makes for a perfect fit. Satisfaction guaranteed. Robert Half, the matching experts in accounting, finance, IT, legal, marketing, and administrative staffing. Visit roberthalf.com/radio for more information.
I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans, America's premier home purchase lender. We've created a new way to protect you from unpredictable interest rates. Our exclusive Rate Shield approval. First, we lock your interest rate for up to 90 days. Then, if rates go up, your rate stays locked. But if rates go down, your rate drops. Either way, you win. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com.
Rate Shield approval only valid on certain 30-year fixed-rate loans. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030. Additional conditions or exclusions may apply.
Why should you use Zoom Imaging Solutions for all of your office equipment needs? Zoom is never too busy to greet you personally. Zoom has the best copiers, printers, and solutions in Northern and Central California and the Bay Area. Zoom offers industry-leading on-site response time for service and repairs. And because Zoom is consistently ranked as a top market leader, that's why you should use Zoom Imaging Solutions. Call them at 916-369-6526 or go to zoomcopiers.com to reach an office equipment specialist in your area.
Ashton & Price has been representing injury victims for over 2 decades because we stand for things. We believe new clients should always meet with an experienced attorney. We believe that when our clients get the best medical care, the value of the case becomes clear. We believe that when you retain Ashton & Price, if you do anything on your case, you're doing way too much. We believe in being honest, professional, and aggressive. So if you're injured, tap into what Ashton & Price stands for. There's never a fee until you win, so call Ashton & Price for a free consultation.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
MadeItCars.com has big savings on over 2,000 vehicles. Easy financing for everyone. Over 7,500 4-star reviews, all in one place. MadeItCars.com. See why everyone is saying, made a great deal at Maida.
It's time for 4 Down territory. On the drive. First down.
All right, let's get to this real quick. We got to do our awards here. Kyle, I've got some nominees. I'll take your nominees as well. And as always, we'll come to a conclusion. NFL Rookie of the Week. You got any thoughts? NFL Rookie of the Week. There are a few rookies that had some decent games.
I do not have any.
You know what?
Off the top of my head.
Can I be honest with you? When I wrote up the update, when I wrote the when I wrote the show, when I wrote the show, I put in notes who my nominees were, and next to I remember them all, but next to Rookie of the Week, I wrote DJ. I can't remember who I was talking about.
Good. Was it
no
Nick Chubb?
No, it was not. It could have been.
Nick Chubb is a good nominee. 3 carries, 105 yards, and a touchdown. First player to ever go over 100 with 3 carries and a touchdown.
What?
Sony Michel had a good game.
Sony Michel was good.
112 yards on the ground and a touchdown.
DJ. Who was DJ that I nominated? That's who I really thought should get it. Wasn't a defensive player. Wasn't
let's
a Raider. Wasn't a Brown. Wasn't a Saint. Wasn't a Giant. Derwin James. Derwin James of the Los Angeles Chargers. Of all the DJs I'm going to. You know why? honestly I had a brain freeze there is because I've been thinking about Dustin Johnson all day because of that Dustin Johnson Brooks
Sure,
Koepka thing.
I think in the future, because you've done this a couple times now with just the initials, you should just write the last name.
Yeah, you know why I do that? It's my sometimes I try to erase them. I don't want to influence your picks. So I didn't erase my notes, in other words, my internal notes for just me, and I've done that a couple times. I think Derwin, and by the way, the ones you mentioned, actually phenomenal nominees.
Sure.
I'm completely open to voting here.
Nominees.
I put Derwin James down because we had been talking about him all week. We saw him up close in that game against the Niners, and honestly, he was a difference maker in that game.
Yeah, he was the difference maker, and like Matt Barrows said yesterday, kind of on accident because he wasn't supposed to blitz. But he came up with the hit on C.J. Beathard that led to the game-sealing interception.
Yep.
The Chargers had not done a great job of stopping the 49ers.
He hit the quarterback, I think, 3 times.
Yeah.
Second on the team in tackles.
He was really terrific.
Yep.
We can go Derwin.
All right. Derwin James, our NFL Rookie of the Week. Second down.
Second down.
Who is the Defensive Player of the Week?
We've given this award to Khalil Mack for the first 3 weeks of the season. And by the way, we could for a fourth. There are several nominees. I was looking at J.J. Watt as my nominee. He had a couple of sacks in this one. I believe he had a strip sack as well in that game where the Colts gave them the victory. J.J. Watt has been so injured and so banged up, and he's such a menace in the league in a good way and such a great presence. And I'm probably influenced by the fact that I really do love J.J. Watt. So there are plenty of other nominees. I'm going to submit J.J. Watt.
Yeah, J.J. Watt, just from a pure statistical standpoint, is a good choice. You could theoretically go Derwin James here as well.
That was the thought process. I made him Rookie of the Week.
2 guys on the Titans. I watched a lot of that Titans-Eagles game.
Sure.
Jarrell Casey is playing at a Defensive Player of the Year level right now. He was excellent. It doesn't as much reflect in the box score, so we won't pick him. But he was dynamite. And then rookie Harold Landry, the edge rusher from Tennessee, is also a very, very good player and had a good week this week. But hard to argue with J.J. Watt.
By the way, I think Harold Landry is going to get in our awards at some point this year. Just got a feeling. Yeah. Third down.
Really good.
Third down.
Offensive Player of the Week.
I know we're running late. I can make this quick. Do you have an argument with Mitchell Trubisky? 6 touchdowns.
You could go Jared Goff, 465, 5 touchdowns, and a perfect 158.3 passer rating.
It's a really good argument.
Against a way better team. I'm going Jared Goff. I'm dying on that hill.
You know what? You went with me on the first 2. I was going to go with the 6 touchdowns. I'm fine with that, even though Jared Goff will probably win it like in 5 more weeks. But, whatever. It's fine.
5 guys threw for 400 yards.
Kyle Madson, L.A. Rams fan.
Huge Rams guy.
Fourth down.
Fourth down.
Feel-good story of the week. Rams.
I'm kind of cheating along that line, and feel free to counter me on this. I want to say the Bears. I want to say the Bears as a team are the feel-good story of the week. You have Mitchell Trubisky, who throws for 6 touchdowns in his second year. You have what Khalil Mack and that entire defense is doing. You have the fact that nobody's picking the Bears at the beginning of the season, and right now they've established themselves as a team really nobody wants to play at all. I'm following that story, and I like that story, and that's not because I want to make Raider fans pull their hair out, but because I think it is legitimately one of the better stories in the NFL this year.
It's not a good story because of Khalil Mack. Like, they just traded for a really good player. Like, that's not
right.
You have a first-time head coach in Matt Nagy. You have Mitchell Trubisky at quarterback, who was not great last year, was inconsistent through the first 3 weeks, and then really broke out. Tariq Cohen, small school guy, again, good year last year, but really broke out and had a great game on Sunday. It's really, really tough to argue with the Bears at this point.
One last thing I want to say about the Bears. I'm going to harken back to preseason when Mac was traded and you and I were talking. And one thing we said that we probably should have paid more attention to ourselves was that Bears defense had the potential on paper to be a better defense than the Niners ever had under Vic Fangio. And if you give Vic Fangio that type of talent on a defense, you're going to have issues all year long as they're healthy. That Bears team may just end up surprising everybody in the NFC.
I want to give a quick shout-out to the Bengals as well.
Yeah.
Off to a 3-1 start, had the late comeback against the Falcons. I thought there was no chance
Very fair.
they were coming back in that game. And then you had I'm going to go back to the Titans. upset the defending champs and had to convert 2 4th downs on their final overtime drive and score the game-winning touchdown.
We're way late. When we get back, Dave, Softy, Mahler host KJR in Seattle. That looks like they're getting hockey. They're also hosting the Sacramento Kings this Friday up there at Key Arena. If you've never heard Softy on this show before, it's always going to make you angry, but it's always good radio. He will join us next right here on Sports 1140 KHTK.
Sundays belong to the NFL. Saturdays are for college football. But it all started first on Friday. Join Matt George and Charles T. Hamilton every Friday night for the Friday Night Football Show, presented by Wingstop.
Are you ready for some football?
Recaps, scores, interviews, players, and coaches from your team.
Friday Night Football.
Northern California's Friday Night Football Show on Sports 1140 KHTK. We do sports.
Yeah!
It's the perfect time to get a new kitchen, bathroom, or patio remodel for zero money down, zero interest, and zero payments for the first 12 months at Quality First Home Improvement. Need a brand new HVAC unit? Well, you can get the new Quality First Comfort HVAC system that will keep you comfortable and warm during the cold winter months ahead. Quality First Home Improvement is voted the best contractor in the area and is a full-service remodeler who will do it all for you and will also finish most projects in just 3 to 4 weeks. Again, they will do it all for you for zero money down, zero interest, and zero payments for the first 12 months. This offer is just too good to pass up. It makes going with Quality First Home Improvement the smart thing to do. For more information on this amazing offer and to get a free in-home estimate, call 855-80-12345. That's 855-80-12345. Or visit them online at qualityfirsthome.com. Quality First Home Improvement, your contractor for life. License number 875772.
Sacramento Republic FC is back in action at Papa Murphy's Park Saturday, October 13th, as they play host to the Las Vegas Lights FC in the regular season finale. Don't miss all the excitement on the pitch as the boys in Old Red Glory battle their conference rival for supremacy. Game time 7:30. Single game tickets are on sale now. Call 916-307-6100 or go to sacrepublicfc.com for info. That's 916-307-6100 or sacrepublicfc.com. Don't miss out on all the fun at Papa Murphy's Park. Get your tickets now.
Sacramento homeowners, there's never been a better time to permanently fix your low water pressure, rusty water, or pipe leaks by repiping your home today. Repipe Specialist has been serving the Sacramento area for many years, collectively repiping over 35,000 homes in our 25-plus years. We've built a reputation on offering the most efficient repipe process for customer convenience, repiping an entire home in just 1 to 2 days, patching your walls, and providing a lifetime guarantee. Repipe Specialists only uses the best repiping materials with high-quality PAX or USA Grade L copper pipes. For a limited time, take advantage of our most affordable offer. Right now, on approved credit, get 0% interest for an entire year. That's right, a quality home repipe, wall patching, and a lifetime guarantee, and 0% interest. Repipe Specialist provides a free in-home estimate explaining the process tailored for your home. So call Repipe Specialist today for your free in-home estimate at 888-256-6379. 888-256-6379. 888-256-6379. Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy. Pretty much hands off, They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-929-0277. 800-929-0277. 800-929-0277.
Optima Tax Relief.
From early morning coffee runs to rush hour commutes, we all expect our cars to be our perfect match. Which is why Nilo Pre-Owned Select gives you a week with your pre-owned car, just to ensure it perfectly suits your lifestyle.
Are we there yet?
If you're not happy with it, bring it back within 7 days of your purchase date and less than 700 miles added and return it. Or we'll help you find a better fit. Visit Nilo.com to learn more. Nilo Pre-Owned Select. Pre-owned car buying perfected.
Join KCK Sports 1140 this Friday from noon to 2 at Food for Less at 4551 Mac Road to enter to win a Money Can't Buy Sacramento Kings home opener experience.
Now your sports update. Powered by Mercury Insurance.
Hey, it's Kyle Madson with your top stories on Sports 1140. The Oakland A's are back in the playoffs for the first time since 2014. They'll face the New York Yankees in tonight's AL wildcard game out in the Bronx. It'll be Liam Hendricks starting for the A's against Luis Severino for the Yankees. It's a bullpen game for Oakland, so Hendricks will likely go just the one inning. We'll carry that game for you right here on Sports 1140. Pregame 4:45. First pitch is set for 5 o'clock. In the NL wildcard game last night in Chicago, the Rockies emerged victorious 2-1 in 13 innings. It was the longest winner-take-all game in MLB, winner-take-all playoff game in post-MLB history. Jeez Louise, dude.
Wow,
figure
you
it out.
So hard on that.
Fish out of water.
Wow.
On the update. The Rockies won. That's what matters. And then LeBron made his Lakers debut last night.
Other
and
sports
the
update,
Lakers
guys,
lost.
they're celebrating right now.
113, 111.
At your expense.
That's
they're rounding the bases.
No, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's totally fine. Because I messed up. If I don't want them to do that,
Don't mess up.
I will not mess up. You see how that works?
Yeah. Then
Do you have anything to add to this update?
From the 916, ordered a meal the other day at a fast food place. The dude behind the counter puts my burger and fries in a bag, folds up the end of the bag, and windmill slams it on the counter, grabs his crotch and says, "Here's your Happy Meal," and then backpedaled away saying, "What?"
My biggest concern is that adult human ordered a Happy Meal.
It's a great point right there. Back to you.
It's The Drive on Sports 1140 KHTK.
From the 916, random text. Dave, what is this garbage I'm hearing about you publicly on this radio show expressing how upset you are that the Kings did not draft Luka Doncic? Do you realize if you express this on the air, you're creating dissension within the Sacramento Kings fan base? Get over it. Marvin is on our team. Stop it already. I can't tell if he's serious or not.
Really appreciate Vladdy listening and texting in.
We haven't even talked Kings all morning. Like, is he serious? Or
can you imagine if I'm just like, so, dude, A's Yankees tonight, and you're like, yeah, and it was Doncic and Bagley.
Please, if you're listening, text back, because I want to know if you're poking fun at people losing their minds at anything Doncic related, or not. All right, Softy is ready to go. Let me see. Did I get? I didn't send you his number. I thought I did. Did I not? Did it not go through? Yeah, I sent it to you. Aha! Although I think he wants, he might want you to try him on that number. He's texting me right now saying, call me on a different number, but who the heck? Go ahead, call that number. I think that's his number. That's the one he wants. Go ahead. If he doesn't pick up, I'll give you the other number. I'll get to Jerry to kill some time here. Hello, Jerry.
Hey, good morning, you guys.
Good morning, Jerry.
I cannot hear you.
Good morning, Jerry.
Hey, good morning.
Hi.
Good morning.
Hi.
Yeah, I've been listening to the conversation at hand, and where is the line?
Yeah.
Line got blurred some time ago, in my opinion, and now it's been completely removed. There is no line anymore. The country's kind of lost its moral compass, and I honestly don't believe that there is a line anymore. And I've got a couple of reasons for that, but I mean, the line was already blurred. That line has been completely removed now.
Are you okay with that?
No, I'm not.
I don't know if I want to say that people celebrating in baseball is indicative of the country losing its moral compass, Jerry. I mean,
no. So, I mean, things have escalated at such a rate, though, here in the last 20 years or so, that if you're of the belief that it hasn't been removed and that it's only blurred, it's only a matter of a short period of time before everybody agrees that that line was removed.
Yeah, see, this is where you don't. Even though you and I think we're kind of on the same side of the argument, but then you screw my argument up because it goes too far. Like I don't think some dude pimping a home run is why people swear at each other in grocery stores. I do think there should be a line, but I also think it's so. Isn't it okay for? Do you have fun? Do you have an issue with the celebrations in the NFL or the NBA? I mean, I'm asking you. Do you?
No, I don't.
Okay, then why do we have such a problem with it in baseball?
Baseball's always kind of considered. I mean, I think the players and the.
I got to get you tomorrow because I got a guest on right now. We'll continue that thought tomorrow, Jerry. As joining us right now, I hate saying this, but I must, at least at the beginning of our conversation, a dear friend of mine for the battle in Seattle. He is the host, one of the hosts on KJR in Seattle, fine radio station. He covers the Mariners that choked halfway through the year, the Seahawks that probably should have won at least 2, if not 3 Super Bowls, and now are in shambles, and a non-existent basketball team. The one and only Dave Softy Mahler. Good morning, buddy.
You're such a jackass.
What'd you want me to do? You want all hearts and flowers?
Nothing
I said you
has changed. Nothing has changed. We haven't talked in months, and this is the way you greet me. Fine, whatever.
You don't call. You don't write. You don't even. I follow you on Twitter. You don't even follow me on Twitter, which I don't blame you for.
You know why? Because I don't like you. That's why.
See, there you go. Now it's out.
Okay, there you go.
Now it's
Put down
out.
your freaking pipe and smoke it. The hell.
I like.
Hey, how fired up should I be for Costa Kofis or Marvin Bagley or freaking Buddy Hield on Friday? You know, it's funny. Nobody's talking about Sacramento. It's all about the Warriors coming up here on Friday night.
Well, of course it is. Of course it is. Because
I mean, if you were me, would you give a damn about the Sacramento Kings coming to town?
That's why I didn't want to go. That's why I didn't want the team to go. At first, I was upset. At first, I actually tried to be upset on behalf of you guys. I thought putting the Kings in that game was a slap to you guys. Like putting the only thing worse would have been Oklahoma City. And you came on, and you, like many, I talked to Jason Reed with Sonic Skate and a lot of other guys, and you all say the same thing. Like, we don't care. We're just happy to have basketball back.
I don't give a damn who it is. I mean, there are people in this town, including guys on our radio station, who I think are wrong, that are all fired up about Sacramento being the team that's coming up here. I mean, first of all, why do we think it's Sacramento and Golden State? I mean, I'm not talking about you. I'm just talking about, in general. Why do we think it's Sacramento and Golden State playing in this preseason game? Because Sacramento and Golden State are the closest teams to Seattle besides Portland. Yeah. That's why, period. I mean, what did we think, that Boston and Miami were going to come to Seattle for a preseason game? That New York and Houston would come to Seattle? I mean, this is ridiculous, man. I mean, just get over yourself, for crying out loud. The reason why they're coming is because they're 2 of the 3 closest teams to Seattle, period, end of story, bottom line.
I also heard another explanation I heard, which was kind of even more boring, was that we were supposed to play each other last year, and the Warriors went to China, and then we owed them a date, and they picked this as the date, and nobody here thought it would be a big deal. Either way, what is a big deal, though, is there's going to be – I know you have the Jamal Crawford thing that happens, and that's always a big deal up there, and a lot of NBA players come. But this is going to, I think, invoke a lot of emotions. And if we're going to be serious for 5 seconds, I'm a huge proponent of Seattle getting a team. I have a ton of respect for the fans up there. And I would imagine there's going to be a lot of really happy fans being able to see some sort of NBA basketball up there.
Well, there's no question, and this is what Friday is going to be all about. I mean, honestly, I think it's cool that Kevin Durant's coming back to town. I think it's cool to see Klay Thompson, if you're a Washington State fan. Steph Curry, obviously one of the bigger stars in the NBA. So that aspect is cool. But, Dave, honestly, dude, this could have been the freaking Kentucky Colonels against the Washington Generals, and people would have shown up for it, because the passion for the NBA today is still awesome. I mean, I think it's great, dude. Go down to San Diego and tell me 10 years after they lost the Clippers if fans were this fired up. Go to Kansas City 10 years after they lost the Kings and tell me if fans there were this fired up. We actually have a freaking city council member. Her name is Deborah Juarez, who drives me freaking bananas, who actually had the goal to say the other day that people that 10 years later that still talk about their hearts being broken about losing the Sonics need to get over it.
Wow.
I mean, that crap pisses me off when I hear stuff like that, because I think that the fact that people are not over it yet, Dave, and the fact that people are still fired up about it 10 years later is one of the biggest reasons why they're going to come back. It's one of the biggest reasons why Chris Hansen lit the match and jumped on board 5-6 years ago to try to bring the NBA back to town. So the passion that people have for basketball in this town, I feel the exact opposite of Deborah Juarez. It's a huge reason why they're coming back.
That's one of the biggest loads I've ever heard of Softy Mahler from KJ.
It's ridiculous, man. And I apologize. It's 7:30 in the morning. I haven't gotten my voice yet together, and I feel like crap anyway, and I'm tired as hell. So I apologize, but that stuff pisses me off.
Well, and
I mean, it really does.
And I'll ask you, when I get in arguments with people, which is so weird considering how much I hated you guys for years, but I get in arguments with people today that say, well, if Seattle really wanted their team, they would have kept them. They screwed themselves.
That's stupid. That's dumb.
Of course
Ridiculous.
it is. Of course it is.
Idiotic. So, I mean, go back and sell that same stupid-ass argument on behalf of the Cleveland Browns fans.
No,
the Browns left for Baltimore because the Browns fans suck. Get the hell out of here.
There's no question. It's a stupid, lazy argument. What I do want to ask you, though, is help clear something up for me with this latest round. Is there somebody up there or some entity that is helping Seattle shoot themselves in the foot when it comes to bringing the NBA back? I need to understand why, even though I can't stand what he tried to do. I need to understand why you got a guy in Chris Hansen and the Nordstrom guys and everybody else who had big bucks with him. I need to understand why the guy, from what I understand, tried to build a privately funded arena downtown with the sole purpose of bringing the NBA back to Seattle. And I remember reading and hearing about street vacations and votes and all this crap. And now it looks like Chris is almost out of the picture. Is who's doing the screwing up there?
Well, I think right now he is out of the picture, and that's unfortunate because, as I said before, none of this stuff happens in Oakview or AEG or Todd Leiweke or Tim Leiweke or Jerry Bruckheimer or David Bonderman or Key Arena. None of this happens without Chris Hansen. I mean, Chris Hansen was the first one to step up, as we said 6 years ago, and say, hey, something's got to be done because nobody's doing jack squat about this, and I want to change that. So no matter if he's involved or not, in the end, he deserves a giant pat on the back. There's no question about that. I think he's a freaking hero myself for getting this thing underway. But the bottom line is that saving Key Arena was more important than getting that arena built down there in SoDo. I mean, the Mariners fought it. The Port of Seattle fought it. The Seahawks fought it. The City Council fought it. In some ways, the King County Council fought it. And they just thought that if they built the arena down there in that area, that Key Arena would become obsolete. It would become an eyesore. It would become a waste. And nobody on the City Council wanted to see that happen. They were more concerned about saving the clock tower, to steal a line from Back to the Future for all you young people out there. They were more concerned about saving Key Arena than they were getting the arena built in SoDo. So now they've saved Key Arena. They brought hockey to Seattle, and we're obviously hopeful they bring the NBA along with it. But if the NBA doesn't come, then this whole project, to me, in a lot of ways is a failure because the NBA is the big enchilada. I mean, I'm fired up for hockey, dude. I think having the NHL in town is freaking awesome. But it's not going to feel complete unless we get the NBA. And if the NBA doesn't want Key Arena, then obviously we're never going to have the NBA ever again because we're not going to build two arenas. No way.
It's Softy Mahler from KJR joins us right now, KHTK. And that's where I was going with that is, do you feel with this massive renovation of Key Arena, hockey coming, hopefully, it sounds like, are you guys closer in your mind to getting an NBA team?
I think we are. I mean, there's a lot of people out there who don't believe that the business arrangement between the NHL and the owners and operators of the arena is going to be conducive to getting the NBA. I just don't know how anybody can make that call. And if you're Tim Leiweke from Oakview, who's Todd Leiweke's brother, by the way, Todd's going to be the president of the hockey team, and Tim is obviously the brains behind the arena project, so they're kind of working in tandem together, obviously. Tim Leiweke needs 250 dates a year in that arena. He's not getting 250 without 41 from the NBA, okay? So he absolutely wants the NBA in town. Otherwise, that building is going to be sitting vacant for 45, 50 dates a year that otherwise would have been filled. So I think they are going to get the NBA. I'm not sure when. I think the NBA is in a really weird spot right now as far as expansion or teams taking off. But as I've always said, dude, you never know what's going to happen 5 years down the road. If I would have told you in 2003 that in 5 years the Sonics would be moving to Oklahoma, you never would have bought that. Yeah. If I would have told you in 2009 that in 5 years from then the Maloof brothers would sell the franchise to a guy who wants to move the team to Seattle, I'm not sure if you would have bought that either. So there's so many unforeseen things that will happen in the NBA that nobody can predict. Obviously, we're all hoping for expansion. That's what we prefer. But at this point, we'll take anybody's team. I still think we're 5-6 years away from getting basketball, but getting the arena done is the first step, and it's a big one.
You have hockey coming, whatever it's going to be, the Seattle Sockeyes or the Oceans or the, what a Coffees.
The Kraken.
Yeah, that, Kraken. Whatever it is. take
That's
away
a great name, man.
Take away the new toy bias of the first couple years or whatever. Where will hockey ultimately? I feel like basketball is number one in Seattle, and if not, then football. I could be wrong, but where will hockey ultimately rank?
Well, football is number one for sure. Seahawks and Huskies are number one and number two, and then followed by the Mariners. I mean, look, here's the problem with the Mariners, man. They suck, okay? They haven't made the playoffs in 17 years. 2001, what were you doing? How old were you? You remember?
No, but I was probably like 20-something.
Okay, well, you're 60-something now, so obviously you've grown up fast.
Older than me.
Yeah, I mean, dude, it's the longest freaking drought in professional sports. 17 years ago is the last time this baseball team made the playoffs.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's no – I mean, people like to mock the Mariner crowds and say nobody shows up at Safeco. What the hell would you do if your baseball team hadn't made the damn playoffs in 17 years? There's only a few select fan bases in sports that can withstand not making the playoffs for 17 years. Maybe the Cubs, maybe the Red Sox, for example.
Kings.
The Mariners are not one of them, okay? They need to put a better product out there. So right now, football is number one, and you'll find out, and you'll be reminded on Friday, Dave. You guys should watch this game. I think it's on ESPN, by the way, how fired up fans are here for basketball. And I mean NBA basketball, because when you say something like fans are desperate for basketball to return, the WNBA fans, the Storm fans get all pissed off at you saying, what are you talking about? We have the Storm. Hey, listen, the Storm are great. They've won 3 championships since they've been here. Sue Bird is awesome. Breanna Stewart's phenomenal. Lauren Jackson was great. It's not the NBA, okay? It's never going to take the place of Sonic basketball, and I have no problem saying that. So you'll see 17,000 people for a freaking practice game, dude, on Friday night at Key Arena. They sold like 20,000 seats in the first 4 hours for that game. I'm not sure how many cities out there who had their freaking hearts torn out by the NBA 10 years later will put 17,000 butts in the seats for a freaking practice game. But you'll see that Friday.
Last thing for you. We got a minute.
Thank God.
I just shut up. I didn't want this game to happen as a Kings fan. Am I correct in assuming that the Warriors with Kevin Durant, for those 20,000 people, are going to represent all the love and passion that people have for the Sonics, and the Sacramento Kings are going to be the Washington Generals to that passion, and as loud as they're going to cheer for Durant and the Warriors, that's how loud they're going to boo against Sacramento?
I have no idea how bad that will be on Friday, but I will tell you this, that Kevin Durant coming back is a gigantic piece of this pie. I hope the guy comes out in his old Sonic warm-up jersey, to be honest with you, for pregame shoot-around. And I'd love to see him even put a Sonic jersey on during the game if the NBA will let him. I mean, look, dude, he's a freaking god in Seattle. The guy was here for a year, for crying out loud. 1 year, but people love him. If he would have stayed in Seattle, he would have been the biggest thing in town. And I mean bigger than Russell Wilson, bigger than Richard Sherman, bigger than Earl Thomas, bigger than Marshawn Lynch. You know how basketball is different in that regard, where stars become legends in basketball and they become the faces of franchises, not like football when there's 53 guys on one team. Kevin Durant would have been the biggest damn deal in Seattle. So getting him back is a huge deal. But on top of that, this is more about a celebration of Sonic basketball. You're going to see a lot of green and gold in the stands on Friday. A lot of people chanting, bring him back throughout the game on Friday. Hell, Steve Kerr and Rick Welts, the GM of the Warriors, have already gone on record saying this will be a celebration of Sonic basketball. A lot of ex-Sonics will be there on Friday, including Spencer Haywood, who I talked to this morning. I believe Gary Payton will be there as well. This is going to be a celebration of Sonic basketball. It's been about 6 years since we could get thousands of Sonic fans in one room at the same time, and I think Sonic fans on Friday will take advantage of that. You'll hear a lot of chanting, a lot of bring them back, a lot of green and gold in that crowd on Friday, no matter who was playing in this game.
You hear him on KJR. If you're up in Seattle, he's been on there for years. Not too many people listen, but he still tries his best. I won't be up there Friday. My kid's birthday is Friday, unfortunately. I was
priorities, huh? Okay.
I was looking forward to watching you.
I got courtside seats for you, pal. Would you rather hang out with a bunch of screaming kids or come watch the game with me sitting courtside?
Well, I mean, you switch spots
with your feet on the floor, okay? I mean, look, knowing you and your salary, you probably can't afford courtside seats. You probably have to sit in the nosebleed section.
Yeah.
You maybe even stay home, watch the game on TV. So this would have been a big opportunity for you here,
Makes
pal.
a really cogent argument.
Tell your wife and my kids I said hello, buddy.
Way to use the same line from 10 years ago.
No, that was your wife in a trailer, I think, was the line from 10 years ago. Or my wife was in a trailer, or somebody's wife was in a trailer, Softy.
Stay classy, Sacramento.
Talk to you soon, buddy. Take care.
Yeah.
That's Dave Softy Mahler, KJR in Seattle. It's going to be a raucous environment up there on Friday. I'm looking forward to watching it, but I think we we Sacramento Kings and Sacramento Kings fans are walking into. It's going to be a rough environment, and I was not a fan of this date from the beginning. But, hey, you got to get through it. It's like jury duty, I guess. We'll take a break. Let's talk Raiders next with Scott Bair. Dave Cavill, president of your Oakland Athletics at 8:35. We're also going to give away our final TV of the week, 65-inch, big-time HD TV, courtesy of the Home Theater Company. We're back in a couple. No flipping. Sports 1140 KHTK.